It is test taking season yet again, unfortunately. That includes AP exams, that includes state tests, and stuff like that. So I want to do this. I'm going to go through a speed run basically as fast as I can with general test taking strategies. I made this PowerPoint for my AP psychology class for their test that's coming up, but this could work for any AP exam, SAT, stuff like that. So, first one, go with your gut. Second one, don't overthink it. Like literally, I can't tell you how many times I've been grading a test, I see a student has erased the right answer and put the wrong answer. Please don't do that to yourself. It hurts you and it hurts your teacher because we're like, oh gosh, darn, they almost had it. Context clues. Context clues could both be, actually all three, there could be three things that you can get context clues from. One, the question itself. Two, the answer choices. And three, other questions later on or earlier in the test. So use all of the resources available to you. If this is a multiple choice portion of a test, one of those is the answer. So start there, okay? Only cross out the answers that are definitely wrong. People are taught this strategy early on of like cross out the wrong answers, but then people get confused because a lot of times students will circle the answer that they think is the right answer, cross out the rest of them, and keep moving forward. Do not do that. Do not do that. A middle schooler doing that, I even tell them like, hey, like, let's fix it. But for a high schooler, a college student, a potential college student, you need to not do that. What you need to do is when you are reading the question and addressing the question, you need to cross out the ones that are definitely wrong and you don't cross out the other ones. Because what if later on there's some context clues and you're like, oh wait, I got the other one wrong. So I go back to it. If I've crossed out all of the other answer choices, then I have to rethink that question from scratch. I have to rethink all of the answer choices again. Whereas if I cross out the obviously wrong answers, then I have a little bit less work to do the second time around. So please only cross out the answers that are definitely wrong. And if you don't know that's definitely wrong, then do not cross it out. Sometimes on a test, on your Scantron, you will get a string of the same letter. And that's going to make you be like, wait, am I doing something wrong? Nope. Sometimes it legit just happens. That's okay. The test time includes the time to fill in the Scantron. I shouldn't have to say that, but it happens every year. If you know that this is a problem that you have, you need to fix it. It's not really a negotiable. You need to make sure that you're keeping your eye on the clock and that you are filling in your Scantron as you go through the test. Another thing, a lot of times people will hit a string of questions that they're like, I don't know what this is, and then it makes their confidence level just go in the toilet. They put their head down, they're like, I'm done, like this sucked, and they feel bad, right? But here's the thing, you can miss more on the test than you think. It does not need to be perfect. All of these tests, all of the AP exams, I've taught AP Psych, AP Government and Politics, AP Macro, AP US, AP World. I think that's about it. All of those, you can miss more multiple choice questions than you think. And it's easier to get FRQ points than you think. So keep going. It's okay to not know everything. It's okay. Do what you can. Keep moving forward. Do not put your head down. You don't have time for that. Don't leave anything blank. Don't leave anything blank. The greatest thing about multiple choice, one of them is the answer. So you have in front of you, just please pick something. Do not leave it blank. If it's blank, it's wrong. If you put something, hey, you might get the points. Obvious. Try. Okay? Most people, man, you can't not try. You will not succeed if you don't try. Again, if you leave it blank, 0. You get 0 points. If you don't try, you're gonna get the smallest grade possible. Just try. You will surprise yourself. I promise you, you will do better than you think if you just try. Even if you are asleep half of the year, maybe 75% of the year, just try. You will surprise yourself, I promise. Okay, multiple choice questions. So some facts. On tests like this, the AP exams, you're going to run out of time. It is designed to have you run out of time. It is designed to have you run out of time. You will also see, most likely, words and terms that you have never talked about in class. Your teacher, like, even if you were there every single day, you were fully attentive every single day, you were in the right headspace, you were fully focused, you were the best student ever, you were reading everything that your teacher asked you to read, you were watching additional YouTube videos. Like, if you were the perfect student, there would still be words and terms that you have never heard of before, and they will be on your test. That is okay. That does not mean that you're stupid. That does not mean that, again, I don't want your confidence to go in the toilet. Because once you do that, you're done. You are done. Once you understand, I'm going to keep trying, I'm going to do my best, like, I promise you, the difference in the outcome is noticeable. Now, even though those are facts, even though you are going to encounter stuff that you've never heard of before, even though it is designed to make you run out of time, we can still figure out how to make this test work to our favor. There are still ways to get a better grade. The first hint here, do not go in numerical order of the questions. Don't go in numerical order of the questions. I know that seems weird and it might bother you. I'm the type of person who's the same way. I like to do number 1, then I do question number 2, then I do question number 3, and I like to go in order and I don't like to skip around. But on a test where you're going to run out of time, and on a test where you're going to have some really difficult questions, it actually does not make sense to go in numerical order. So I'm going to give you the alternative, okay? Another thing, you cannot afford to become mentally stuck on a question. A lot of times this happens because people like to go in order, and then they'll sit on question number 4 until eventually they get to what they think is the best answer, and then they'll begrudgingly put it down, and then they'll keep moving on. Well, you just wasted like 5 minutes plus on one question. That is not a good use of time. And the odds of an angel coming down and giving you the answer is very, very slim. And if it does happen, the test doesn't matter anymore. If the angel comes down, you have other things to worry about. For the AP exam in particular, 100 questions in 70 minutes, and I did the math, and that's about 42 seconds per question. So again, if you get hung up, this is, again, for the AP Psych exam, but if on that exam you get stuck on one question for 5 minutes, you have just completely messed yourself up for the rest of the exam. That is not a good use of time. So what do we do? Okay, if I'm telling you not to go in numerical order, and I'm telling you you're going to run out of time, how can we best use our time? This is it. Okay? So triage in the medical field is why it takes you a long time to be seen by the doctor at an ER, at the emergency room. Because if you just have a little cough, but everybody else coming in is bleeding or having a stroke or something, they are going to be seen first. So in the medical field, this graphic here shows you like the different categories of saying who should be treated first. So the people who are like a second away from death, like obviously they are going to be treated first, and then it goes less in severity all the way down to common cold. So I highly suggest that you do the same kind of thing with any exam where you're going to run out of time. So here's how to implement that. First, you need to go through the entire test and read the questions. Now, when it comes to digital exams, it's going to be a little bit different. If it's still on paper, it's much easier to do it this way. Okay, but what I want you to do is I want you to read all the questions, but I don't want you to like really, really read them. I want you to more skim. Okay, you read the question. Then what you need to do, I would say first, is mark the most difficult questions. I want you to mark them with a star or an asterisk or something. You can make your own symbols. I don't care what the symbol is. But what you need to do is you need to go through and skim all of the questions before you even start answering them. Go through all of the questions, and then the ones that you see are like, I have no clue, you mark those with whatever symbol you want, let's say a star. Again, you don't answer them. Then there's some that it's like, so you go through the whole test, go back to number 1. Once you've marked all of the really difficult ones with the star, then start at number 1 again, skim them again. The ones that you're like, I might know that, circle it, let's say. You circle the ones that you're like, I might be able to figure this out if I think about it for a second. Those ones, mark with a circle. Then you go back to number 1 again. Okay, we haven't answered any questions yet. All we've done is look through the questions. We haven't answered them yet. We've just looked at them and marked them. Then you go through the third time. Now you start answering the questions. Now you answer the ones that are obvious, or the ones that are going to be slam dunks, like swish, like you got this, no problem. Okay? This is really, really, really important. Okay? Because once you've locked in those points, because you did the easy ones, so you've locked them in, then I want you to start again at the beginning, and then you do those medium level ones. Those ones that you think you could possibly figure out if you give it a little bit of time. So that sounds absurd. I know that sounds absurd, because you're like, wait, you said that we're going to run out of time. Why would I go through the test 3 times, not answering any questions? Actually, 2 times without answering questions on the 3rd round. Why would I do that? Why would I waste my time? It's called an investment. It is literally an investment, right? Sometimes you need to front load some work in order for it to pay off in the long term. That's what an investment is. There is a really solid chance that if you go in order, that you are going to run out of time, right? So let's say there's 100 questions on the test. You do a great job from 1 to 80. You get all the way to 80, then your proctor says, put the pencil down. You did great. From 1 to 80, you killed it. But that means that you missed out on 20 questions. You missed out from, 19, from 81 to 100. What if some of those were really easy? What if number 90 through 100 were like swish, 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 and I should have gotten all of those, but because I ran out of time, I didn't? That is why this is important. Because using this triage system, you lock in those easy points, which is what you really need to do. Then you spend the time thinking. Your thinking time is on the ones that you've already marked as like, I could maybe get that. And then you are going to run out of time. If you are going to guess, shouldn't I guess on the ones that I don't know anyway? So again, this is actually like the perfect plan. And again, it sounds, at the first part, it sounds wild because it seems like a waste of time. I'm telling you, it is not. It is the opposite of a waste of time. It is an investment. This is really, really important. Again, I've never seen anyone talk about this. I'm not going to say I made it up. This is just how I would do it. I know I'm not the first to say this. But I don't think enough people have thought about it this way. Taking a test is a game, and you have to figure out what are the strategies to make me most successful. This is a strategy that will absolutely increase your chances of getting a good grade, because you are using what limited time you have and what limited brain power, because you're going to be tired. Tests are exhausting. So you might as well use your resources effectively. And that means finding those easy points, locking them in, then use your time wisely by thinking about the questions that you probably think that you can get. And then if you have time after to work on these hard ones, great, do it. But if not, then at least you're guessing on the ones that you would have already had a guess on anyway. This is the way to do it, okay? So, I hope that's helpful. Again, this can work for any AP exams, SATs, stuff like that. It is really, really, really important. Please tell other people to try to test differently, because I have a feeling that you're going to have pretty good success. Also, I would like to know, if you end up doing this and you felt like, hey, this sucked, this did not work for me, please let me know. Give me feedback. I'm always down for feedback. I always want to make sure that my students are as prepared for a test as possible. And that means mentally. Like, I want them to know the content, sure, but I want them to have confidence and to be able to approach a test that is designed to make them feel very stressed, to make them run out of time. It seems like a mountain, but there are ways to combat that, and there are ways to climb Mount Everest. You just got to be prepared and know what to do. So thank you again for watching. Again, feel free to leave me your comments and maybe other test taking strategies that you have that have helped you in the past too. So thanks again for watching. I hope I was able to help.